Welcome to the VA Today pod and videocast with your host, Gail Alexander, a podcast about VAs, for VAs, and businesses looking for the right VA to help to start grow their business. Find the right VA today and visit VA Today on YouTube and ava-ni.com to find out more about VAs and what they can do for you, and get in touch with the virtual assistants you need today.
Hi everyone, it's Gail Alexander here from the VA Today, and I am really excited today and a little bit nervous to be recording my first VA Today episode. And so I am now joined with Alison Matthews from Virtuali. She's based in Moira in Northern Ireland, and she has worked as a VA for the last couple of years after working in various industries at home and in Luxembourg. And so we wanted to chat today to her about her VA journey and her experience, and maybe give some tips and tricks to other VAs out there in the community. So welcome, Alison, and
thank you.
Thanks for joining me today.
Thank you.
Hopefully this goes okay. So so first of all, I just wanted to find out exactly what your VA business is and what services you specifically offer.
Mm-hmm. So I started my business, virtualaliadminsolutions, about 3 years ago now. And at this, I don't really have a niche, but I find that most of my clients are really people who tend to be out a lot for different reasons during the day and who have quite data intensive type occupations. And so I help take their admin pain away. That's the kind of motto of my business. And that really can be anything from helping people who maybe are organising events and helping them with all the background admin. I have some clients actually need help checking their data. I help some people who would travel a lot to do their travel bookings. And I also go in-house to help people sometimes streamline their systems or to take minutes at grievance cases and things like that, where you need someone quite neutral who's not really associated with the business to do that. And I work in partnership with other independent HR advisors to do that. So it's a bit of everything, really. It's a bit of everything, but the real idea is to take the admin pain away. That's the kind of motto of my business.
Okay, so yes, as you said, it's quite varied. You're going in doing different tasks. So did you have to do like specific training to be a VA, or did you have specific skills that you were able just to bring to becoming a VA? How did you sort of become to be a VA?
Well, I kind of, I had 15 years experience. I actually I did my degree in French and German, but then I did a postgrad diploma in European Business Administration. So I've worked really for 15 years in lots and lots of different industries. I was an export administrator, a sales administrator, a travel advisor, a PA for a long time, and a project administrator. So I had lots of different admin skills, and I didn't really have any training as such, because I had that kind of very varied background, and I thought, well, I can put those skills to use in a different way.
Okay, so you said you studied French and German. So is that how you ended up being in Luxembourg? Like, it's quite an unusual place to be.
Yes. Yeah. No, it's quite funny, I think, how you end up in places. When I studied German, I had to go for 1 month to Germany on a work. It was sort of like student placement.
Right.
And it was in Trier, which is on the Luxembourg German border. And I flew into Luxembourg and flew out of Luxembourg and went to Luxembourg one of the weekends I was there. And then about 6 years afterwards, I saw a job advertised in Luxembourg and thought, oh, that's a really nice place. And they speak French and they speak German. And the job I had, they actually wanted someone who was a native English speaker, but who spoke both. And so I went to work there as a kind of bilingual secretary in a way.
Okay, so and do you bring those skills, like language skills, to being a VA? Do you find that there's much call for language skills in the VA industry, or is it something that you just sort of have in the background as an extra?
I would just sort of have it in the background as an extra. Certainly it helps sometimes when you're booking things abroad to be able, to understand things in a different language, but mostly it's about the admin rather than the languages. And I have
Okay.
lots of friends who are translators, which is obviously a different industry as well. So if people really need translation help, there's other people I can pass them on to.
Yeah, so you're talking there about, you have friends that do translation. So it is a potential niche that you could go down if you wanted to. But
Yes.
do you think going down a niche is important for a VA, or is it just important for some VAs and for others a sort of more broad, varied skill set? What do you think about sort of niching down, as they sort of would call it?
Yeah. I don't know. There's a lot of sort of VA academies out there, and some will say to you, oh, you should have a niche, and some say you shouldn't. And the thing that I've learned very much with anybody that you talk to in a business is that you should always have different strands. And actually, sometimes if you narrow yourself down into a niche, you might find yourself with very little business if something like Brexit will really affect your business. So you always need to have different little strands, and then that way you'll be a bit more secure, I think. So I don't really have a niche, but I say my clients, when I look at the profile of them, are quite niche in themselves.
Okay, so maybe your clients or the people that you would try and contact would be more niche based, but the skills and the sets of work that you would do for them aren't necessarily niche based. It can be a wide variety of anything. And so that's quite good. That sort of leads on to what I would say, what I think is important. I don't know, probably do the same. It would be ongoing lifelong learning, especially for a VA. Everything's changing so quickly, the likes of social media, like myself. There's so many new tools and platforms, skill sets that companies are looking for. So would you advise anyone that would be moving or thinking of coming into the VA sort of world to continue on with their lifelong learning? Is there any specific sort of areas you would maybe recommend?
Definitely the lifelong learning is a very important thing. You sort of sometimes forget when you're self-employed that you have to put that budget aside for sort of CPD. And I know I've done a few courses online with the different academies there are, and I went last year in June, I think it was, to the Northern VA Collaboration Conference, which was in Newcastle upon Tyne.
Yes.
And that was really nice because in Northern Ireland we don't have yet a conference or any kind of sort of physical meetup for VAs. And actually when you're in a room with other people, and I always think as well, Northern Ireland, we're a little bit behind in the virtual assistant industry. Like there's a lot, the industry in England has been going a lot longer than it has here. So we can always learn a lot from other people as well.
That's maybe good for you and I being Northern Ireland based.
Yes.
So you were talking about sort of some of the online academies, and that's how we know each other. Well, one of the ways we know each other is through a social B academy, or social media. But as you say, like that virtual online academy is great, but it doesn't substitute that face-to-face networking meeting. Even though we're virtual assistants and we're working virtually, you think it's there is a big importance of the networking, so you get to know other potential clients, but as well as other VAs for that support, because it can be quite a sort of lonely sort of working lifestyle.
Yes, it can. And I think you do, because every industry you have your specific problems, and I think virtual assistants really, I meet up with a couple of virtual assistants face to face, and I think you have specific problems, and it's good to actually sit down with someone and say, oh, how do you do that? Or how do you do that? Or how do you deal with this client? And at the same time, because we have different specialities, if a client comes to you and they have a specific task that you can't do, well, then you can go, well, I've got a friend, Gail, and pass that work over to her. And that way, we're all helping each other, which is very important as well.
Yeah, so that's a point I discussed and talked about with other VAs and yourself. You're not in competition with each other. You are, but you aren't. So it's always good to be there and be supportive. I know one of the online groups that I'd be part of would be the supportive VAs and associates, as well as the likes of VA Connect, Society of VA Help Desk, and there's lots and lots of others. And they are so helpful, being a part of one of those network groups that you can ask a question or just basic support, or even cheerleading, come on, you can do this. Even saying, I've seen people saying, oh, I'm really struggling with this. It's like, no, you can do it. If you need any help, just get in contact. So I think being part of those networks and those groups are really, really important. So from that, I was going to ask you, do you have any specific tips or tricks, or I shouldn't say tricks, but any tips or any advice for any people that are considering becoming a VA, or even, you know, some more experienced VAs that you've come across that's maybe a new thing, or any specific advice to new? What would you have wished you'd known before you embarked upon this journey?
I actually met Caroline Wiley from the Society of Virtual Assistants last year, and she's very, very on the ball. But she does every year, she does a survey where she surveys virtual assistants all around the UK, and then she draws up the results of things like, you know, what is the average amount of money people are making, what are the different tasks people are doing, and breaks that all down. And I actually think at that, if I had found her at the very, very start, that would have been a very useful thing, a document to have seen, because I think at the start you don't know how to set your price, and you don't, you don't really know how much you can charge. And I've met a lot of people as well who sort of think, oh, being a virtual assistant is going to be a really easy route. I'm going to make a fortune, and I'm going to work 9 to 12, and that'll be me. And I think you don't realize, in fact, that okay, you can do, maybe if you really want to, you can do 7 hours of client work in a day, but then you're also having to do quite a lot of work on your own business every week. And I think I think the biggest piece of advice I would give is to research before you become a virtual assistant what it really means. Oh, and that's advice for being self-employed, full stop.
That's true. For entrepreneurs, small business owners, is like do a bit of research. So talking about the survey that Caroline Wiley from the Society of VAs did, that would have been something I would have loved, because it's like I officially started myself sort of at the start of this year, but last year I've been doing bits and pieces of work, and it was like somebody came to me and asked me, well, how much do you charge? I'm like, I really don't know. For certain tasks it would be this, for very niche tasks it would be this, and yes, it was very sort of confusing about what to charge, as well as what all does that need to cover. You just don't earn that. It's meant to cover your expenses, your electricity, your pension, that kind of thing. So it was really good when I found it myself. And so lastly, probably what I wanted to ask was, what have you found has been your biggest challenge in your challenges and your biggest achievement as a VA so far?
I think the biggest achievement for me really is that I'm still going 3 years down the line, because there has been a lot of up and downs. And I became a VA because I wanted more flexible work, and I'd worked in lots of different industries, and I wanted to help lots of people, and that's what I love about it. And that is the great thing, but there's a lot of uncertainties, and it's hard. But I'm very thankful that I'm still going. And the challenge is, it's just been all a learning curve. I met a new client actually on Friday, and I was explaining a little bit what I do, and he said, so every day really you get up and you don't really know what's going to be thrown at you, and you just have to learn the things and get on with it. And I said, yes, that's basically it. And he said, that's terrifying. And I said, well, to me it isn't. To me it's exciting. So I was like, well, that's why I do what I do, and you do what you do, So it's all a learning curve.
Maybe a bit terrifying in some ways, but in other ways it's like, something new. I want to learn this, and you get to learn, and you learn on the job as well. So that's quite exciting. You get paid to learn as you do your job, and other things you obviously know, because that's the service you're offering. But so it's the flexibility. I think for being a VA, that's a reason why I became one, having 2 small children, and just trying to fit in full-time work around that was never going to work. So becoming a VA, I'm delving into a different area of business that I wanted to. It was a great opportunity, scary to jump into it, but I wanted to do it for years. So I think it's quite good, and it's an achievement for anyone to become a VA and set up on their own, because setting up your own business is scary in itself, never mind doing the actual work. And so very last point I would ask, do you have any big or not final goals, but any big goals that you've set yourself that you want to achieve in the next couple of years?
Oh, that's a biggie. Well, I entered one of the VA awards recently, and I'd quite like to get an award, because I think at the start you're just, you're just sort of concentrating on, okay, I have to get this going, and then you keep going, and then you get a bit bigger, and you think, well, actually, maybe it's time to apply for some awards and keep growing. So
excellent.
who knows?
What award's that? So we can tell everyone and see.
It was the VA Newcomer Award,
Right.
with Be My VA. Be My VA.
Yes.
So yes, so we'll see. So that would be very nice to do something like that.
Fingers crossed. Fingers crossed. That would definitely be good.
Yeah.
And so if anyone wanted to get in contact with you, where would they go? What platforms do you exist on? What are your contact details?
So my website is www.virtuali.uk. I'm on Facebook as well, Virtuali Virtual Admin Solutions, and I'm on LinkedIn as Alison Matthews, and I'm also on Twitter and Instagram. So you can find me anywhere you see Virtuali Admin Solutions, taking your admin pain away. That's me.
That's brilliant. So I'll pop those details down in the description. And well, thank you very much for being on the VA today, and we'll hopefully talk to you soon again.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Bye.
Okay. Bye.